Alright everybody, welcome back to Otherworld Games. We got an exciting Legends of the Force matchup today. We got Mother Talzin taking on Kit Fisto. I feel like a lot of us pulled the Kit Fisto showcase somehow and are just trying to make that leader work. He can be pretty good. He's got some cool matchups and he does some fun stuff. Mother Talzin is pretty popular right now, just topped one of the overseas PQs. These are two excellent players. See each other every week in locals. Back at the grind, testing out some of the new stuff. If you are new to the channel, I try to get videos like this out pretty often. They're not always meta matchups. Sometimes we cover PQs, things like that. More of a matchup of the week, weekly showdown kind of vibe here. Talzin and Fisto both using the new force bases, both gonna run a lot of force units. Not much sense swinging into base here. You got Yaddle with the restore out, so you gotta start chipping away at that. Putting damage on the base doesn't really help when she has restore and is giving Jedi restore, and Kit Fisto, obviously a lot of Jedi synergy, is going to be dropping more Jedi. Interesting, some of the ships this set have the Jedi tag, so Yaddle can actually give restore to, there it is, some of those Jedi ships. Baron is a pretty cool card, is versatile. This Talzin deck is just a bunch of removal. You're going to swarm and you're going to neg things down, you're going to ping things, and you're going to just chip away at your opponent. Kit Fisto wants to get Jedis in play. He's got that extra pump for every Jedi when he flips, and then if you attack with a Jedi, you get the 2 damage ping. Interesting leader. I like what they were going for with his design. Talzin just kind of inherently has a leg up because Fisto is running a lot of these tinier units trying to board swarm, and Talzin is really all about removal. So got that restore out of the way. We're trying to get damage in that'll actually stick. So the new Dooku is so good, even without the ambush. Just a 4-3 on curve. Gets you the force synergy, has the shield. Should have a shield, I believe. Gonna see that come out. Force your opponent. So the ambush is ideal, obviously, the shield, and then got a sticky body for them to deal with, but force your opponent to kind of chip away at him. Unless you're playing into outright removal, a lot of people, you don't want to waste Shatterpoint or Takedown on something like that. If you have Takedown, that's fine. Spending the 4 to kill a 4 cost is fine, but they gotta have it. So get Dooku out there for some kind of reaction. We got Yoda. Yoda's so good. Red Hero has that draw power now, and obviously the synergy with Yaddle. Just good restore, are going to get you extra card draw if they do happen to deal with it. And then feeds right into scenarios where you got Yoda maybe dies this turn, and then you drop a caddy, you're drawing 3 that turn. That's pretty good. So I am still learning a lot of these Night Sister cards, but I know it's all about negging things down, taking out the opposition. Gotta deal with Marin. Yoda is, we're seeing a hesitation here. Yoda is not enough to finish her off, but you don't want to just sack him into Dooku. And you Talzin being smart here, playing around the restore units, doesn't have a lot of damage threatening. Are going to see the swing into Marin. I think you got to try to deal with that. seeing the decision here on her ability. And yeah, it's really hard for Kid Fisto to do a lot when you don't have Jedi in play. 2 for 1 there is pretty tough. Now we got the 1-up. Yeah, always have to respect Force Throw, but Force Lightning is also pretty good right now. You have a lot of units with kind of interesting Force abilities, so Force Lightning can just kind of either just outright kill them or nullify maybe the card draw from Yoda, or maybe like the Cheer Sentinel that can neg the attacker if you use the Force. It's a pretty versatile card. It's also nice if they Force Throw you and you just get rid of a 1 cost. They're not going to be happy with that. Versatile card. You do have Caddy. Really a busted card for Red Hero this set. Only other cards, cards? I think just the one was Mission Briefing that draws 2, and it's just an event that I think you pay 3 for. So creating a 4/4 body and drawing 2 is really just insane, and he's a Force user, so you got the Kid Fisto Jedi synergy, you have Jedi synergy with Yaddle and things like that, and you obviously have the Force Throw capability there. We are going to see Leader come out with only the 1 pump. So Force Throw there really only hits for 2. Nothing insane. I really enjoyed the design of these Force decks. There's so many different strategies for what you're even trying to accomplish by having the Force. A lot of these decks really only care about having the Force, but maybe a handful of times. Some of these villain decks aren't even going to try to run any kind of turn run plays because you're only worried about either the turn 2 ramp or the turn 2 removal or anything like that, but you want to at least have the option. That Dooku card coming down with Ambush is so strong at the very least, and then you have access to, not in these colors, but you have things like Will of the Force. There's a lot of sneaky payoffs for the Force that you have to try to account for this set. Obviously Force Throw is running rampant right now. I don't know what you do here with Fisto. I mean, the removal is tough. You have to try to deal with their board. Talzin being able to create bodies and kill things off. It's pretty hard for something like Fisto to deal with, who wants to board swarm with a lot of weenies. We're going to Force Throw himself here just to get that guaranteed removal. With Caddy making that more of a viable option now. You're not so upset losing the cards, but Force Throw is an interesting decision. You got to be really smart about how you use it. That was definitely correct there, but so you see the Force Lightning in hand. Isn't going to do much if they hit for 1. And you know your opponent playing Force Red is probably also running Force Throw, so Villainy Force Red has a couple of little 1-cost cards that they can get rid of to negate the Force Throw. Definitely got to target yourself sometimes. Old Daka coming down. Not what Fisto wants to see. Talzin playing on curve here and just keeping the pressure on. This doesn't seem to be a good matchup for Fisto. I have seen this deck pop off. If you're not able to get rid of, a couple of these sticky early game 2-4, 2-5 kind of units, 3-5 as a return 2, they really start to pile up, and then the leader ping, you're trying to run into their units, and then the leader for Kit Fisto can just finish things off. Can definitely out-tempo some of these mid-range decks, but just a little bit too much removal here. And 28 health for these 4 spaces is kind of an interesting breaking point, because you have that tiny little bit of, it's not quite as bad as obviously the 25 health base rare bases from set 1, but you don't feel as confident playing from behind in a matchup like this, because sometimes villainy late game is just one swing away from closing the game out. We do get Mace Window, and that helps a lot. You gotta try to leverage having Ezra out to generate the force and then get the payoff with Mace. A lot of these new hero cards are just very sticky. And we do see Force Lightning, so coming down for 4 is going to just fry Mace. Pretty thematic there. We all know the Mace Windu does not hold up against a lot of lightning. Yeah, Force Lightning, you pay the 1 always, and then pay any, if you have a Force user, you pay any number of additional resources to do 2 damage. But you always get to blank the card, so it can be really good just to pay 1 and nullify a Sentinel. You don't always have to kill the thing if you're just pushing for game, but paying 4 to fry Windu is no different than all the other kind of best game removal options right now. Shatterpoint, Fellow Dragon, things like that. Grand Inquisitor, another sticky card. A lot of these new stat lines are feeling really good. It's hard for people to kill things the turn they come out, especially with Hidden. Hidden is, in my opinion, a really fun, interesting mechanic. I think they hit on exactly the kind of interaction we want to see continue to develop from Star Wars Unlimited. Ambush is really strong right now, so what do you do to deal with that? You have, obviously Kira is really good position right now with the late game mauls, invaders, and things like that. So you got timely intervention, ambushing out things like reinforcement walker. So what do? You give people Hidden, say you can't attack me. So go ahead and basically nullifying a keyword on the opponent's side, which is it's really strong. It doesn't always come up, but if you only have the 1 unit in play, you're basically turning off an entire keyword, which is pretty good, pretty interesting. And yeah, I think that's going to be it. Kit Fisto really doesn't have any answers. Dropping the hand here, nothing he can do. He's going to take a bunch of damage, probably get to 24, 25 this turn, and then, yeah, a bit out of reach. Alright, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to comment down below what you want to see next time we get a new Legends of the Force video out there.